United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Baptiste. We're going to have adoption and approval of minutes. Approval and adoption of the minutes of the Metropolitan Council meeting of November 13th, 2024, the Metropolitan Council zoning meeting of November 20th, 2024, and the Greater Baton Rouge Airport Commission meeting of November 12th, 2024 by the Council Administrative Treasurer. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposed? Motion carries. Ashley, can you please read the introductions?
Section 2.12, Introductions. Number 2, authorizing the Mayor President to amend the contract with Maximus Consulting Services, Inc. for indirect cost allocation services for the CFR Part 200 plan and the full cost plan by $36,000 for a total contract amount not to exceed $135,500 by the Finance Director. Number 3, amending the 2024 current expense and capital budget so as to adjust estimated revenues and appropriations and to authorize the Director of Finance to make certain interdepartmental transfers in accordance with the State Budget Act and the Plan of Government by the Mayor President and the Finance Director. Number 4, amending the 2025 annual operating budget so as to appropriate $682,110 from interest earnings from the American Rescue Plan Act to fund Police Department Special Event Overtime, $426,250, travel allowance authorized in Louisiana Revised Statute 33:1233B, $108,600, operational support for juvenile court, $73,750, and compensation adjustments in the Parish Attorney's Office, $73,510, by Councilman Cleve Dunn, Councilwoman Carolyn Coleman, Councilwoman Jen Rocca, Councilman Aaron Moak, and the Mayor President. Number 5, adopting the following ad valorem tax millage rates within the boundaries of the following taxing jurisdictions on all taxable property, except that the millage rate for the Downtown Development District shall be levied on real property only, to be levied during the year 2025. East Baton Rouge Parish Operating Tax, 2.96 mils. City of Baton Rouge Operating Tax, 5.44 mils. City of Baton Rouge 3 Platoon Police Tax, 0.82 mils. East Baton Rouge Parish Mosquito Abatement and Rodent Control District, 1.06 mils. East Baton Rouge Parish Mosquito Abatement and Rodent Control District additional, 0.35 mils. East Baton Rouge Parish Library, 9.89 mils. Council on Aging, 2 mils. Mental Health and Substance Abuse, 1.33 mils. Emergency Medical Services, 3.13 mils. Baton Rouge Municipal Fire Salaries and Benefits, 5.68 mils. Consolidated Road Lighting District Number 1, 1.71 mils. Allison Fire Protection District Number 9, 9.82 mils. Allison Fire Protection District Number 9, additional 4.91 mils. Allison Fire Protection District Number 9, additional 10 mils. Brownsfield Fire Protection District Number 3, 8.83 mils. Brownsfield Fire Protection District Number 3, additional 4.41 mils. Brownsfield Fire Protection District Number 3, additional 8.83 mils. Brownsfield Fire Protection District Number 3, additional 10 mils. Downtown Development District, 9.5 mils. Fire Protection District Number 1, 8.52 mils. Pride Fire Protection District Number 8, 8.97 mils. Pride Fire Protection District Number 8, additional 13.45 mils. Cheneyville Fire Protection District Number 7, 9.09 mils. Cheneyville Fire Protection District Number 7, additional 9.09 mils. Cheneyville Fire Protection District Number 7, additional 9.09 mils. Cheneyville Fire Protection District Number 7, additional 10 mils by the Finance Director. Number 6, adopting the revised 2025 pay plan for the classified, unclassified, non-classified contract fire and police employees of the City of Baton Rouge and Parish of East Baton Rouge, establishing the effective date of said plan as December 28th, 2024, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith by the Human Resources Director. Number 7, fixing the number of employees of the Parish of East Baton Rouge, the City of Baton Rouge, and agencies to which appropriations are made, and establishing the effective date of December 28th, 2024, and repealing all ordinance in conflict therewith by the Human Resources Director. Number 8, authorizing the following increased ad valorem tax millage rates without further voter approval within the boundaries of the following taxing jurisdictions on all taxable property to be levied during the year 2025 as permitted by Article 7, Section 23C of the Constitution of the State of Louisiana. Baton Rouge Municipal Fire Salaries and Benefits from 5.68 mils to 6 mils. City of Baton Rouge, 3 platoon police tax from .82 mils to .87 mils. Fire Protection District Number 1 from 8.52 mils to 9 mils. Brownsfield Fire Protection District Number 3 from 8.83 mils to 10 mils. Brownsfield Fire Protection District Number 3 additional from 4.41 mils to 5 mils. Brownsfield Fire Protection District Number 3 additional from 8.83 mils to 10 mils. Cheneyville Fire Protection District Number 7 from 9.09 mils to 10 mils. Cheneyville Fire Protection District Number 7 additional from 9.09 mils to 10 mils. Cheneyville Fire Protection District Number 7 from 9.09 mils to 10 mils. Pride Fire Protection District Number 8 from 8.97 mils to 10 mils. Pride Fire Protection District Number 8 additional from 13.45 mils to 15 mils. Allison Fire Protection District Number 9 from 9.82 mils to 10 mils. Allison Fire Protection District Number 9 additional from 4.91 mils to 5 mils by Councilman Aaron Moak. Number 9, authorizing the Mayor President to execute a 4-year contract with Rudd and Wisdom for the performance of actuarial services related to other post-employment benefits and liabilities in the amount of $61,750 by the Finance Director. Condemnation introductions. Jeffrey Wayne Plaisance, 6145 North Row Avenue, District 1, Knoll. Number 11, Amos Roosevelt Spann Jr., 10505 Avenue H, Council District 2, Banks. Number 12, Pamela Bethley Ford, 1067 Central Road, Council District 2, Banks. Number 13, Herman Peeler, 5155 Greenville Street, Council District 5, Hearst. Number 14, Beatrice Scott, 2415 Willow Street, Council District 7, Darazan. Number 15, Sheila Michelle Williams Franklin, 789 North 36th Street, Council District 7, Darazan. Number 16, John Gray, 858 North 36th Street, Council District 7, Darazan. Number 17, KET Enterprises, LLC, 5325 Winburn Avenue, Council District 7, Darazan. Number 18, Alan Buckner Sr., 3913 Washington Avenue, Council District 7, Darazan. Number 19, Go Home Buyers, LLC and Consolidated Holdings, Inc., 229 West Washington Street, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 20, Larry E. Paul Jr. et al., 1909 Mulberry Street, Council District 10, Coleman. All items that require reading have been read. A motion to delete item 30 at the request of the department and introduce all other items is in order.
Do we have that motion? Motion by Councilwoman Coleman, second by Councilman Hurst. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to go to the separate sheet for condemnations. Okay, recommendations are to proceed with item 80, item 82, 83, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, and 92. 30 days on item 81, 90 days on item 84, and to delete items 79 and 85. Is anyone here wishing to speak on any of these items? Yes, ma'am. Come on up and state your name for the record, please. And let us know which agenda item you're speaking on. Oh, wait. Turn the mic on. Look, there should be a button at the bottom of the mic.
Where your hand was.
Name is Monica Bourgeois Peters. I'm here for number 92, a property. It has been vacant for over 20 years. The trees have grown up. It has been, I'm sorry, number 91. It's on 226 West Polk Street. We have squatters in there now. My house is next to it. The trees have grown up in this house. The people that I have working on my house are scared to go over there because of the problem. The grass has grown up, which I see they've cut the grass. But this has been going over 20 years. I have a side picture of the house if anybody would like to look at it. I don't think any of us could live in it. I've talked to several people, and at first they started saying that it was livable, and it's not. There's no water or anything. It's been abandoned for years. Thank you.
Anyone else here wishing to speak on one of these agenda items? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Hudson. I'm the Division Manager for the Neighborhood Revitalization Department, and we would like to delete item 81, 2855 Millerville Road. The structure was actually demolished by the owner over the weekend.
Is it down all the way?
It's completely demolished, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
all right. Because I had heard that they had just started today.
No, ma'am, our
All right.
inspector went and took photos and we did it.
Excellent.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on any of these items? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman Coleman.
Okay, for 91, as you can see on the agenda, no improvements made, so we're forging ahead with that. And I had not had a conversation with you. And so, but we are forging ahead with 91. 92 is in litigation and requesting 60 days. So that's what I do. 92.
Anybody else? Okay. I'm reading back again. We're going to proceed with items 82, 83, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91. 60 days on item 92, 90 days on item 80, items 80 and 84. And we're going to delete items 79, 81, and 85. Do we have a motion?
I don't
Okay.
want to talk about the subject that you guys are on right now.
Okay. Then every agenda item is going to have a public hearing.
Okay. But when I came in, I didn't check in properly with the young lady at the front desk. So I'd like to check in.
Okay. Who can he go see for that?
You should be able to go right out front, and they should have a piece of paper that you can fill out to request to speak on an item.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay. Like, please. After condemnation? 5 minutes? Okay, do we have a motion on the condemnations? I tell you what, let's go ahead and proceed, and then we're gonna have a 5-minute recess, and I'll let you speak with him if we need to reconsider. Okay, so we have a motion by Councilwoman Coleman, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, everybody, we are gonna take a 5-minute recess, and we'll be back. Yeah. Greg back in here? Let's go. We're gonna call the meeting back to order. Apologies, everybody. All right, we're gonna move to administrative matters. We're gonna put items A and B together. I'm sorry, A, B, and C. A, amending resolution number 57959 to correct a typographical error in the Head Start lease contract with M&J Property Management LLC from a total amount not to exceed $62,000 to a total amount not to exceed $62,400 by the Human Services Director. B, enacting an ordinance and authorizing the Mayor President to execute an agreement granting to Entergy Louisiana LLC the right, privilege, and franchise for a period of 30 years to lay, maintain, and operate mains and pipes in, under, along, and through the public streets, avenues, alleys, roads, highways, and other public places of and within the unincorporated areas of East Baton Rouge Parish for the transmission, distribution, and sale of gas, and providing regulations and conditions of the exercise of said right, privilege, and franchise. Throughout the term of this agreement, Entergy Louisiana LLC shall pay the city parish as compensation for use of the city parish right-of-way franchise fee equal to 5% of the gross revenues. Franchise agreement shall be approved by the Office of the Parish Attorney as to form and legality by Councilman Cleve Dunn Jr. and Councilwoman Jen Rocca. C, enacting an ordinance and authorizing the Mayor President to execute an agreement granting to Entergy Louisiana LLC the right, privilege, and franchise for a period of 30 years to lay, maintain, and operate mains and pipes in, under, along, and throughout the public streets, avenues, alleys, roads, highways, and other public places of within the incorporated areas of East Baton Rouge Parish for the transmission, distribution, sale of electricity, and providing regulations and conditions of the exercise of said right, privilege, and franchise. Through the terms of this agreement, Entergy Louisiana LLC shall pay the city parish as compensation for use of the city parish right-of-way a franchise fee equal to 5% of the gross revenues by Councilman Cleve Dunn Jr. and Councilwoman Jen Rocca. These items are for introduction. Motion to waive the rules to allow item to be introduced. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Cleve Dunn Jr. Public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on the motion to waive the rules? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Is there any objections on the motion to waive the rules? Seeing none, need a motion to introduce the items. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Cleve Dunn Jr. Any opposed? Motion carries. Items are introduced. Item D, authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute supplemental agreement number 1 to the professional services contract with Stephen Baldwin Associates LLC to perform phase 1 closeout and phase 2 of the governance model review, assessment, and transfer in an amount not to exceed $481,261 by the aviation director. Need a motion to waive the rules. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Need a public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. Anyone here wishing to speak on the motion to waive the rules? We need a vote on the motion to waive the rules. Any object to waiving the rules? Now we're going to have a public hearing on the item. Anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to have a lot of these, y'all. Item E, acceptance of low bid, Public Safety Complex H2 roof recover, Lab Services LLC, $650,000 by the Buildings and Grounds Director. We're going to need a motion to waive the rules. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Hurst. Public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. Anyone here wishing to speak on the motion to waive the rules? Seeing none, have a vote on the motion to waive the rules. Any opposed to waiving the rules? Seeing none, now we're going to call for a public hearing on the item. Anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion on the item. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Any opposed? The motion carries. Item F, change order, City Court Facility Duct Cleaning Remediation, contractor Upscale Consultants LLC, change order amount $19,800 by the Clerk of Court, Judicial Administrator. We need a motion to waive the rules. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. We need a public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. Anyone here wishing to speak on the motion to waive the rules? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a vote? Anyone opposed to waiving the rules? Seeing none, now we're going to call for a public hearing on the item. Anyone here wishing to speak on the item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Rocca. Any opposed? Motion carries. God bless you. Item G, acceptance, I'm sorry. Oh, G and H we'll take together. Acceptance of low bid Abrasco PS 299 Regional Pump Station, NCMC LLC, $8,552,000 by Environmental Services Director. Acceptance of low bid Abrasco North Regional Wastewater Consolidation, Grady Crawford Construction Company, Inc., $4,947,978.50 by the Environmental Services Director. Need a motion to waive the rules. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Hurst. We need a public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. Anyone here wishing to speak on the motion to waive the rules? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Anyone opposed to waiving the rules? Seeing none, now we're going to have a public hearing on the items G and H. Anyone here wishing to speak on those items? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Rocca. Any opposed? The motion's carried. All right. Yeah. Okay. Item 93, a resolution approving 3 annual payments in lieu of tax to the Sheriff of East Baton Rouge Parish in an amount not to exceed $100 for each pilot payment in accordance with the memorandum of understanding between the Capital Area Finance Authority and the East Baton Rouge Parish Housing Authority and Partners for Progress, Inc. by Councilman Cleve Dunn Jr. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Coleman. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 94, authorizing the Mayor President to enter into a 5-year agreement with Motorola Solutions, Inc. for maintenance of the public safety radio system in an amount of $1,089,391.77, contingent on approval of 2025 annual operating budget by Information Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Rocca. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 95, amending Title I, Chapter 4, Part 3, Section 1, 701, so as to add subsection J to provide for agreements with qualified group purchasing organizations for purchases and to provide for related matters. By Paul Narcisse, Purchasing Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilwoman Adams?
Is Mr. Narcisse here? Hi.
Hey, he's not here this evening.
Okay, but you can answer in
ma'am.
his place. So what, I read through this, and I'd like some, I guess I'd like for you to explain exactly what we're doing with this amendment here.
So this was initiated by some of the agencies that are just looking for another outlet to purchase some items. It would be a qualified group purchasing organization, and the House Bill 878 that was passed will allow it will allow police, fire, EMS, and other safety agencies to purchase from a qualified group purchasing organization.
Okay, and so, so does this, these vendors have agreements with the state of Louisiana, right? And then we're using those agreements to purchase through, is those agreements?
Yes, so they still will have to follow our purchasing guidelines. Basically, this is allowing them to purchase items that, two things. One, is not on a state contract, and two, is cheaper than items that are on the state contract.
Okay, and so this will do this, and what does that do to our process? Because do we normally seek multiple bids? I mean, I would imagine if this, it sounds like it's public safety. Those are usually fairly expensive items. So
Right.
do we think that's going to be a better price than us going out for a bid here?
Some of the agencies believe that they will find cheaper items that way.
Okay.
And so, if they are, this ordinance will allow us to purchase from that. As in the, on D, it still states that we still need to do 3 quotes, depending on dollar thresholds of the purchases and the items. So we're still following our kind of guidelines. This is just allowing us to use a different organization to purchase from.
So I guess one of my concerns is that those state agreements are likely with national vendors. And I think we've been working really diligently to do as much business locally, to make sure that our big purchases are made as local as possible. And so I think these state contracts are much more likely to be national vendors. I do have some concerns that we may be doing a disservice to our local businesses and to our DBEs as well. Ms. Banks, Councilwoman Banks has some questions as well. So let me ask her questions. I want to think through what some other questions I might have are. Thank you.
Councilwoman Banks?
So I did hear that you said there had to be a qualified group purchasing as one of the criteria, and that the other one is that the price may needed to be lower. One of the issues that really came about as it relates to the pandemic, and I want to know how does this impact where there those large purchases, as Councilwoman Adams mentioned, that are on contract, and those vendors are not able to supply that, for instance, a vehicle. So, and I know all of that is part of state legislation. So how is that inclusive of this? And is it still where it has to be, yes, they go through all the, to get both local DBE and all of that, but if they can't find it, then they go to this, or does that supersede, or is it on an equal playing field? You see,
So to my understanding, and I'm not an attorney, maybe they want to interpret, it's got to meet one of the two criteria. So if they're wanting to purchase from this group, this qualified group, the item cannot be on a state contract, because then they would have to use the state contract, or the item is cheaper than the item on the state contract.
So I got that, but what about, what I found is that the law, particularly law enforcement, can't find vehicles. And because of the legislation that says that it has to be, I'm not sure if they said it has to be a local vendor or it has to be on state contract. Do you know?
Well, in reference to vehicles particularly, I think we've already passed something before that was said that if it wasn't available within the state, then we can look outside.
Was that done in the last 2 to 3 months? Could that still
I think it was
a barrier?
I think it was a little longer than that.
Okay. Because as late as September, if I recall speaking with Mr. Narcisse, that was still an issue. So, and that's why I understand. And also what state contract to me, and that I want to make, is that you buying it through them. On state, those are approved vendors, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why you call them on state contract. So these people are not on state contract, but what qualifies them other than that? Because to me, this should be a stipulation when all else has not produced the desired result. And that's why when I talk about playing field, or is this where you've gone through the checks, nobody has it, and then you move to this? Because otherwise, just as Councilwoman Adams said, then you are putting a disadvantage of our local vendors and possibly DBE local, which is a double whammy. However, if it's a DBE, I'm okay with skipping all that, but just tell me.
So I think with some of the letters on the ordinance here, it talks about our thresholds. It's got over 5,000, under 5,000. We're still going to be held accountable to our purchasing procurement policies and procedures. So we're still going to have to do all those checks and balances. The prices from this qualified group purchasing organization is going to be like a bid or a quote in itself. So those prices will be published. And so if they're wanting that item, we're still going to need other quotes. It's not just I can just get it from them because we passed it.
Okay. One last question. Can they partner with a local? For instance, if there's a demand for a bulk of something, and locally we have 10, then the organized whatever has 10, can they partner?
I'm not sure to answer that. I would think that the qualified group, they're the ones that are allowing and doing their own process to have vendors be a part of their group. So that's something that we wouldn't, I don't know how to really answer your question. I see what you're saying.
Thank you.
But yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Councilwoman Adams?
I'd like to suggest that we defer this item, because I need to dig into it a little bit more. I think we don't do purchasing every day, and so I think I've been reading about this and trying to understand it, but I'm still a little confused, and I'd really like for Mr. Narcisse to spend some time with the council members and explain to us, some, for instances, some situations that have arisen and how this would benefit us. And so I would be more comfortable, and we're missing a couple council people as well. So I'd like to defer it to our first meeting in December.
Second.
Councilman Dunn Jr.?
Yeah, I was gonna say basically the same thing. Also, with Mr. Narcisse not being here, I think he's better suited to kind of give us an understanding of what his mindset is. It does appear that it can set up some unintended consequences to circumvent local and minority-owned vendors, so I'd like to have some time to spend with him to dig into it as well.
All right, we have a motion and a second to defer to December 10th meeting. Is anybody opposed? I'm sorry, December 11th meeting. Anybody opposed? That's your fault. Motion carries. Item 96, enacting an ordinance and authorizing mayor president to execute an agreement granting to Energy Louisiana LLC the right, privilege, and franchise for a period of 41 years to lay, maintain, and operate mains and pipes in, under, along, and through the public streets, avenues, alleys, roads, highways, and other public places of and within the unincorporated areas of East Baton Rouge Parish for the transmission, distribution, and sale of gas, providing regulations and conditions of the exercise of said right, privilege, and franchise, and penalties for violation by the office of the mayor president. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilwoman Banks.
I saw this on the regular agenda, then I saw administrative item. Are these the same, different? What's the difference? 'Cause I guess y'all got time for all that. So this is just about laying pipes.
These,
money.
both items 96 and 97 are franchise agreements with Entergy, one for gas, one for electricity. And council members Rocca and Dunn Jr. have placed substitute items, for lack of a better way to explain it, on the agenda for administrative matter introductions tonight for public hearing in December.
I'd like to, if I can, make a motion to defer this item so we can, just like the previous item, have more discussion and dig into the item.
Councilwoman Banks, you good?
Oh, please, yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't,
We have a motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Adams to defer to the December 11th meeting. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 97, enacting an ordinance and authorizing the mayor president to execute an agreement granting to Energy Louisiana LLC the right, privilege, and franchise for a period of 18 years to lay, maintain, and operate mains and pipes in, under, along, and through the public streets, avenues, alleys, roadways, highways, and other public places of and within the unincorporated areas of East Baton Rouge Parish for the transmission, distribution, and sale of electricity, and providing regulations and conditions of the exercise of said right, privilege, and franchise, and penalties for violation by the office of the mayor president. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilwoman Adams.
I'd like make a motion to defer this to our December 11th meeting.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. to defer to December 11th meeting. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item 98, rescinding and directing clerk of court to cancel the notice to attend recorded on May 9th, 2024, and the decision and order recorded on July 1st, 2024, in the matter of City of Baton Rouge versus Paula A. Holmes, 6156 and 6158 Cyrus. Rescission reason, property is being renovated, brought back into commerce by Councilwoman Darazan. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion by Councilwoman Darazan, second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 99, authorizing Metropolitan Council to declare lots 48 and 50, Block 12, South Baton Rouge subdivision, municipal addresses 2037 Thomas H. Delpit Drive and 2051 Thomas H. Delpit Drive as surplus property and not needed for public purpose, and authorizing the same pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 334712 unto 0 Point Southern, Inc. for the sum of $14,400, and authorizing the mayor president to execute a purchase agreement, cash sale, closing documents, and any and all other documents in furtherance of this sale with the parish attorney's office to prepare, review, and or approve all such documentation by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Adams.
The 0.7, are they here? And I've not had a conversation with them.
It's not an adjudicated property, so we didn't submit it to you, but if you'd like to defer, and we can submit it to you and send that information. I don't know who it is, but I can find out.
Okay, let's do that. I recommend that we defer this item. Yes, sir. Substitute motion to defer.
Do we have a second for the substitute motion? Second by Councilman Dunn Jr. We're going to vote on the substitute motion first. Substitute motion is to defer until till the December 11th meeting?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the motion is to defer to the December 11th meeting. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 100, authorizing the parish attorney's office to institute an expropriation proceedings and/or take such other actions as may be required in connection with the acquisition of land necessary for the Move BR enhancement project, Sharp Road corridor improvements, Old Hammond Highway to Florida Boulevard by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? We have one opposition. Peggy Daigle doesn't wish to speak.
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 100.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Okay. Ms. Peggy does not oppose item 100, apparently. Okay. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 101, authorizing the parish attorney's office to institute expropriation proceedings and/or to take such other actions that may be required in connection with the acquisition of land necessary for the Move BR enhancement project, LA 42 Highland Road at Pico Lane by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item?
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, did speak to Councilman Godade a couple of days ago. He's not here today. He'd asked because of some of the property owners along Highland have expressed some concerns what we're doing about expropriating a piece of property. When reality, we haven't even laid out the design, what we're doing. But this is a normal process that we go through, and I think y'all know that. We do the expropriations, and not only for the Move BR, but also for all the other projects dealing with public works. We have no objections. Councilman Godin asked to defer it to the December 11th meeting. That gives us, we're going to have plenty of stuff on the agenda, that's for sure, besides thinking about Christmas. But I would also, have an opportunity to try to get with the people in the area and try to discuss the issues that they have concerns with. But we are planning to do a meeting. I've expressed that to the group that's back here. I gave them my card. I ran out of cards, and I gave them yours, Councilman. So they can call you at that point. But we'll see what we need to do to get the issues resolved. They do have some valid concerns, but I think we need to take the steps to try to do that before we have the expropriation. We have no objections to that.
Okay. We do have two here wishing to speak in opposition. Ms. Peggy Daigle? It's up to you. Okay. Ms. Catherine Palermo? Okay. Anyone here else wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll go to council.
I'll make a motion to defer to December 11th meeting, please.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Rocca. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 102, authorizing settlement in the matter entitled Catherine Woolfolk versus City of Baton Rouge et al. In the amount of $75,000 plus court costs in the amount of $636 for a total amount of $75,636 and appropriating $75,636 for such purpose by the parish attorney's office. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Rocca. Second by Councilwoman Coleman. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 103, authorizing settlement in the matter of Annie Cochran et al. Versus Ronald Wayne Norman et al. In the amount of $122,500 plus court costs in the amount of $1,085.70 for a total amount of $123,585.70 and appropriating the same for such purpose by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Hurst. We have a second? Second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 104, authorizing settlement of the matter entitled Shauna Chavez et al. Versus City of Baton Rouge et al. In the amount of $180,000 and appropriated $180,000 for such purpose by the Parish Attorney's Office. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Hurst. We have a second. Second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 105, authorizing settlement in the matter entitled Ira Cummins versus Dave Lee Davis et al. In the amount of $85,000 plus court costs in the amount of $580 for a total amount of $85,580 and appropriating the same for such purpose by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Rocca. Second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 106, authorizing the mayor president to enter into a contractual agreement on behalf of the Library Board of Control with industrial cooling towers for the replacement of the cooling tower hot water distribution basins at the main library in the amount of $105,346 by the library director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Hurst. We have a second. Second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 107, authorizing the mayor president to execute an agreement between City of Baton Rouge, Parish of East Baton Rouge, and Go Day Enterprises doing business as EM and Associates for a total sum not to exceed $80,000 by the mayor's office. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Hurst. Councilwoman Adams.
I have some questions about this contract. Dante, it's nice speaking to it. Oh, hey, Jay, you're here. I wanted to, I'm so glad you're here. I think it's Jay. I wanted to,
Good afternoon, everyone.
thanks for being here. So reading through what y'all are contracting to do, this is a lot. These are big, overarching things with regard to small business, economic development. Kind of talk to me about what activities, what's this going to look like?
Yeah, so what you see in there pretty much comes from goals that was set that's actually on the 2024 budget from the city. That's something that we're going to be using through our research to actually develop an economic initiative plan policy for the city. From there, which we'll be doing that over several months, and from there, we'll actually be coming back to you all to approve that plan. And then this pretty much allows the city to have a municipal advisory firm to act as a consultant to oversee the execution of what that plan is.
Okay, so this part is you're going to recommend a policy or a strategic vision for the way we go about economic. I think it seems like especially small business economic development. Is that correct?
Well, economic development as a whole, but that is one of the milestones within that. That's going to be part of that initiative.
Okay, and so what are you going to be pulling from to help craft this policy? Interviews, what other cities have done, like what's that process going to look like?
A combination of all. So myself and my team, of course, will be working with all of you, as well as the city and the community, on an array of interviews, initiatives that have been done in other cities, peer cities. That's going to be part of their research. A lot of research, a lot of economic studies going to be put into what that plan is going to actually involve.
And so why this and why now?
So that's a good question. Pretty much about a year ago, I started having this conversation with the mayor's office due to the inception of St. George, which over a 10-year period, the city of Baton Rouge is estimated to lose about $480 million in tax revenue. Baton Rouge is one of the few cities in this region that does not actually put out an RFP for economic development consulting. You look at some of the peer cities around just certain parts of the country, they actually do this and put this RFP out for municipal advisors and consultants to actually be a part of the development of an economic plan for the city. We did some internal research over this time, and what shows is a lot of our economic development is done in silos. And this plan is actually to give the city opportunity to work with a consultant to where we can actually put all of the efforts together to actually develop a cohesive plan.
Okay, great, that's terrific. And also, will there be any involvement from other economic development entities? So I'm just thinking, state economic development, BRAC, BRAF, and
Oh, for sure. It's going to be it's going to be a collective effort of everyone. Trust me.
Mid-City Merchants?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. That's what I was looking for. Thanks,
Okay.
Jay.
We have a motion to, Councilman Mo.
Yeah, could you sit back up for a second? You may have answered this for the councilwoman, but the scope of businesses or study that you'll be looking at, that's from anywhere from small business to corporate business?
Mainly small business, to make sure that pretty much some of what you guys had spoke to earlier with the other gentleman that was up here, to make sure that our DBEs and our small businesses are always having a ability to compete, as well as working to bring in some CDFIs to have an anchor here in the city to be able to be more competitive when it comes to access to capital for those small businesses.
What's that? What's the CDFI?
Community Development Financial Institutions.
Okay. Dante, could you come up? Look, I think this is a great focus on economic development and everything. I think it's a step in the right direction and all. I would say, could the scope expand? It sounds like this is focused on small business, DBE and stuff like that. I get that. But could we possibly look at expanding it to overall economic development for not just the city of Baton Rouge, but the whole parish, as far as corporate development, commercial development, things like that?
So over time, I think that the answer to your question is yes. So we started with this scope so Jay and I sat down with the mayor a few months ago, and we talked through kind of an entire menu of things. And then considering what we're walking into with the 2025 budget, we wanted to make sure that we were being as strategic as possible with how we were allocating dollars, especially contract dollars, going into 2025. So we sat down, we agreed upon the scope that's presented to you all right now. But I think, to your point, we dive into this process, we start getting some good recommendations, and we start looking at some strategic sites that we can target first. We get some good proof of concept, we bring this back, we expand that. So absolutely, in the future, I do think that, hopefully this bears excellent fruit for the city of Baton Rouge. And once we have a proof of concept, we can expand this.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Don Jr.
Dante, you can stay there, because I was going to kind of go on the similar approach as Councilman Moak. As many of you know, BRAC has been the economic development partner for the city for many years. If it's not one, maybe 2 years ago, we no longer funded them or had that partnership with them in that way, which is fine. But Dante, I kind of wanted to know, is this more of like a pilot program to see what the direction we're going in, and do a trial and error to see what we're going to do moving forward? Because officially, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, we don't necessarily have anyone running point on economic development, small or corporate business right now in partnership or for the city parish. So is this kind of like a start to see, how we end? And to Councilman Moak's point, we can expand upon this scope with them, or bring another partner in, or identify someone else to expand that work throughout the city and the parish? I know it's a lot of...
and I wouldn't necessarily characterize this as a pilot, but to your point, I do think that this is a start. Like you said, we no longer we still do, to be clear, we still do work with the chamber. However, we do not have that formal contractual relationship that we've had in the past. So having somebody who works directly with the mayor president's office on economic development in a contractual relationship where, it's not like they're serving two masters kind of thing, right? To use a crude phrase. But absolutely, going forward, I do think that this is something where we hope to get a lot of bang for our buck. In this concept, we plan to bring more businesses. And like I said, one of the big things that jumped out to us was targeting specific locations that are ripe for economic investment today. Things that we can kind of catch those low-hanging fruit. We get some investments, we start seeing it working, moving some of these areas forward, and then we branch out and expand.
Well, thank you. I do think this is a good thing and a good start. I do think we need to expand upon it. We need to see, what Jay and his team come back with deliverables and things of that nature. But I do think we need somebody accountable to city parish government responsible for this critical service. Economic development, job creation, things of that nature. We know how vital it is to the economy, how vital it is to attracting people to the city. So I'm glad that you guys put this in place. Looking forward to having further conversation with you, Jay and Dante, about this and looking at how we can expand upon it, because we definitely need somebody that is responsible for this work. Thank you.
One other thing, and I'm sorry if you were done. I just wanted to
go ahead.
I just wanted to mention, because when we're talking about these contractual services, and I know we've talked about this in this room before, but just for the record, what we did with that money that we had previously been given to the chamber is we entered into contractual relationships with both Southern and LSU to help boost their small business development incubator programs, so they could also pour into the small business ideas, not only of students, but also alumni and folks in the areas around both of those universities. I just wanted to add that on as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilman Hurst.
Hey, so I had the opportunity to grill Jay about what he plans on doing. And I told him, I don't care if you black, white, Chinese, Republican, Democrat, I just want to know how you help my city. And I told him, I said, I don't think 80,000 is enough. And he agreed. He said 80,000 is a great start to put a plan together to make sure that the plan that I put in place, if the council buys in, is the right one to allow it to move forward. And at that time, similar to other agreements that we've done, if it makes sense to move forward and expand and expound on those services, that he would be in a position to do it. So thank you for answering all of my questions. One of the biggest things, even I talked to Dante about this earlier as well, and he said, hey, we have got to start paying some attention, not some, but more attention to dilapidated and underserved areas. And so I'm looking forward to seeing a plan for North Baton Rouge. Because I say stuff, and I know I kind of say it with a little sometimes, but when I look at North Baton Rouge, which is, in my opinion, the reason St. George was created, right? Low test scores, high crime, low education, low household median incomes. We've had BRAC for 30 years, and North Baton Rouge has gone down on their watch. So their investment in North Baton Rouge has been chemical plants where they hire people from West Feliciana, Point Capee Parish, Ascension Livingston, and those people don't shop at Delmont Village. They don't. They're too scared to go to the gas stations, and they're not shopping the shopper's value. So we need somebody who is going to bring people and resources that create jobs and hire people from those communities. Bring hope back. So I'm looking forward to seeing what your plan is, man. We already had our conversation. I told him the one thing that I care about is accountability, and just don't overpromise and underdeliver. I appreciate it.
And I'll say, if I could say one thing, and I'll be brief with this, just to piggyback off of Councilman Hurst's comments on the contract amount. When I first started talking to Dante and the mayor about this, some data was generated from the city of Dallas that just had approved an additional $1.5 million to their advisor for economic development, which totaled a total of $3.9 million over 4 years. Now, we're a sixth of the size of Dallas, but relatively, if you look at the scope of that contract, we need the same things. It's the same type of scope. It's the same work that has to be done even with the smaller city. Some cases even more work because of the state of where our economic development may be. But if you look at $3.5 million over 4 years, a sixth of that kind of gives you an idea of what this contract could potentially look like. And I just got an email of a bid tabulation for a city that is considered a peer city to us, which is Greensboro, North Carolina. And those numbers are pretty much around that range. So just to give you guys some perspective, when we're coming back to the table to talk about this, you have an idea of what those numbers look like.
Councilwoman Banks.
I'm sorry. I keep hearing the term plan, but it does not sound like it's a plan. You actually, beginning January 1st, will begin a consulting service.
Yes.
The closest I could think, and just correct me if I'm along the same line, is the position that Vineeth had. And where a lot, for instance, he kind of worked to make sure that Oshner came to Howell Place and Capital Area Human Services, and even the sale of that building. And so is that the kind of work that you will be doing, or is it a plan? Because I do think small plans are really good and they're needed, but we've kind of planned out,
Trust me,
But
yeah.
tell me how, if you can give an example, that's the closest I could come. But let's just think about name one of the areas that is disenfranchised, what that would look like in real time.
So in some part of what you're asking, yes and no. This role does consist of a consultant actually being able to bring in investment into the city, and it advises on what is the best type of investment. But it does start with a plan, and that plan has to be cohesive on which state that the parish is in and what is actually needed, and that comes from an array of research that has to be done to determine what is the best practice moving forward when it comes to economic development. Now, you and me both know I am so with you on the plans that we've done in this city, and the difference is that working with a multidiscipline advisory organization opposed to somebody like the chamber, like Dante said, that has other endeavors that they're responsible for. This requires us to solely focus on the growth of what that plan actually that we laid out. So it's a design of a plan, but then it's also the oversight of the execution of that plan. And collectively, you'll be seeing what that is over the next few months to determine what does that actually look like, and how do we move forward from there. So to answer some of your questions, yes, a position like what Vineeth had is ideal, but when you are contracting a company to do this that has CFAs, economic development specialists, community managers, financial analysts, data analysts, they're responsible to compile all that data and develop something cohesive for that particular city.
Okay. It sounds ideal, but even though we are city, every part of our city is different.
Exactly.
So I was just wondering, how would you tackle this, by district, by community, or had you gotten that far?
So we haven't got that deep into it yet, but just just thinking about it, yes, we will be approaching it by district, because just talking to a lot of you, all of you have different ideas on what you want in your district. But when it all comes down to it, we're still one city. Yeah. So each plan that you all have within your respective districts, we have to develop something that's cohesive, that's going to be for the betterment of the city as a whole. And that's something that we have not done.
Right. All right. Thank you very much.
Councilman Moak.
So with a lot of this discussion and everything, on Go Day, what is your specialty set as far as what you're looking, what y'all look for, what y'all go after in these agreements? Do you strictly look for small business, DBE? Because I'm getting a little mixed signal here. What I'm seeing and envisioning with this 80,000, and I'm excited about it. I love economic development, but I look at economic development from a broad range. And I guess I'm getting some mixed signals in some of the discussion on what exactly y'all will be targeting, what exactly you'll be looking for. Councilwoman Banks just brought up the fact of whether you go look at district, you go look at whatever. I look at economic development of what types of businesses we want and where can they go. Not, okay, we have this area over here, let's go find stuff specific for this area, or so on and so forth. So maybe I'm flipped. I've done economic development for other areas and stuff. So, That's what I'm getting kind of confused on here. Exactly what, is this a targeted thing? Is it specific to a specific industry or type or whatever? I'm great with starting off with this, but I want to be able to ramp up pretty quickly for the parish as a whole. I know there's different areas, there's different things that can go in other areas, but I hope that we're eventually heading to looking for as a whole. I'm District 4, City of Central, and it has some outlying areas, but I also know that we need corporate development downtown Baton Rouge. We need high-rises filled or new ones built with corporations coming in, which will then bring the people in, which will then bring the small businesses in to serve those people that are living in different areas and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm looking at and hopefully where this is going.
So you're absolutely right. So this is economic development as a whole. What you see on that proposal is mainly we pulled some milestones, goals, I would say, that the mayor's office had on the 2024 budget that we would just be including into our research and our study. But you are exactly right. We are going to be focusing on economic development as a whole. Case in point, I'll give you an example. 4 years ago, I went to the chamber and the mayor's office to do a retail study for downtown, high-end retail study for downtown. Give you some example, the chamber didn't want to pay for it. So over a series of conversations with the mayor's office and some other organizations, as well as DDD, we came into a conclusion that eventually we will basically put some funds together to be able to pay for the retail study. The retail study, the purpose of the retail study was for all of the vacant commercial buildings that we had downtown and relationships that our organization had with some high-end retailers that would be looking to come into the city as an anchor, but they needed some incentives. And the study was going to provide those incentives, but we weren't going to just use regular rooftop data that we typically get from different organizations when it came to data. We were looking to use credit card data that showed home zip codes that people actually live in the city and would identify leakage that there's a base of people that leave the city of Baton Rouge that travel 60 miles, 70 miles east to New Orleans to shop, 200 miles west to Houston to shop, which would in turn have shown these high-end retailers that, hey, you can come here and be an anchor, we can offer incentives, and there's going to be a business case. So to go back to your initial point, this endeavor is for economic development as a whole. And when I say going to separate districts, because one of our approaches is to look at what is the availability within each district and how do we actually cultivate that into a cohesive plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Dunn Jr.
Just to piggyback on that point, Jay, Eugene stood before us earlier reporting on, a couple of meetings ago, reporting on the Scotlandville grocery store project that him and Councilwoman Banks are working on. And he talked about diverting away from standard rooftop data and looking at traffic data. And you talking about your study transitioning from rooftop data and looking at credit card data. So it looks like a trend with some of these studies that you're looking at alternative ways to capture foot traffic, merchant traffic, and things of that nature. But to support what Councilman Moak is saying, I think the scope definitely needs to be broadened. And with $80,000, we're not going to get all these bells and whistles with $80,000. Just to kind of keep it in perspective, I know the last annual allotment that we gave BRAC was some $300,000, but that thing started at $800,000 or $900,000 many years ago. And you compare what they were doing and responsible for to what we're asking Jay to do was basically exactly what they were responsible for 10% of what they started with. So we're not going to get all the bells and whistles with $80,000. And it may not be just this vendor. It may be other vendors that we bring in as a part of the process to help us. Councilwoman Banks brought up a good point with Venice. Venice was an ACA in the mayor's office that had a focus on economic development. So he did much of what Jay is proposing in a different capacity, an employee capacity. As a matter of fact, the Rouse's conversations started when Venice was in the mayor's office and he was front-facing on economic development for the mayor's office many moons ago, before I got on this council, before many of us got on this council. I was approached by Venice as a stakeholder about the Rouse's conversation some 6, 7 years ago. He also was front-facing as we recruited airlines to expand our offers at Baton Rouge Metro Airport, and helped us, and represented the mayor's office, helped us to attract American Airlines in a direct flight to D.C. So those are some of the things that Vanif did. He operated in multiple areas as it relates to economic development, and that can be done in a contractual capacity as well. But Vanif had that focus, and to my knowledge, and Dante, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know that we have anybody in the mayor's office or city parish right now that has a mandate or a focus on economic development. So again, I'm happy that we're moving in this direction, looking to expand it on it. But just know if we expand on it, we got to be realistic with the budget and the money that we're allowing the contractor to have to do these services. Thank you.
Okay, that's right. Motion by Councilman Hurst, second by Councilwoman Rocca to approve the item. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 108, authorizing Mayor President on behalf of the Division of Human Development and Services Ryan White Program to amend professional services contract with Health Access LLC in the amount of $100,000 for a total not to exceed $138,000 by the Human Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Adams. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Moak. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 109, authorizing the Mayor President on behalf of the Division of Human Development and Services Ryan White Program to amend the subrecipient contract with HIV/AIDS Alliance for Region 2 for an increase in the amount of $10,000 for a total amount of $1,019,246 by the Human Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Moak, second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 110, authorizing Mayor President to execute an agreement between City of Baton Rouge, Parish of East Baton Rouge on behalf of the Office of Community Development and Lacey Byhead LLC for an amount not to exceed $308,714.75 by the Community Development Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Hurst, second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm going to take items 111 through 116 together. 111, authorizing the Mayor President to execute a contract for abstracting services with Advanced Abstracts LLC for services associated with the MOVE-BR Capacity Project, Rollins Road, in an amount not to exceed $61,793 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. Item 112, authorize Mayor President to execute a contract for construction, testing, and laboratory services with APS Engineering and Testing LLC for services associated with the MOVE-BR Enhancement Project, Baton Rouge Bus Rapid Transit, in an amount not to exceed $307,500 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. Item 113, authorize Mayor President to execute the utility relocation agreement with Entergy Louisiana LLC for services associated with the MOVE-BR Capacity Project, Constantine Dijon Avenue, Phase 2, in an amount not to exceed $58,178.25 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. Item 114, authorizing Mayor President to execute a contract for professional engineering services with GEC, Inc. for services associated with MOVE-BR Capacity Project, Thomas Road, in an amount not to exceed $1,363,277.46 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. Authorizing Mayor President to execute a supplemental agreement number 16 with Evans Graves Engineers, Inc. for services associated with the MOVE-BR Capacity Project, Mall Louisiana Boulevard, in an amount not to exceed $60,845 by the Transportation Drainage Director. Item 116, authorize Mayor President to execute supplemental agreement number 2 with Neil Schaefer, Inc. for services associated with the MOVE-BR Capacity Project, Mall Louisiana Boulevard, in an amount not to exceed $13,738.52 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on items 111 through 116?
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 112.
Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion to approve by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Moak. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 117, authorizing Mayor President to execute amendment number 4 with NCMC LLC construction services in connection with the annual stormwater inlet and junction box rehabilitation project, resulting in an increase in contract in an amount of $900,000 by the Environmental Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Adams. Second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 118, authorizing the Mayor President to execute Amendment Number 8 with Grady Crawford Construction Company for construction services in connection with the annual stormwater pipe repair and replacement project, resulting in an increase in contract in an amount of $1,950,000 by Environmental Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Adams. Second by the chair. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 119, authorizing Mayor President to enter into a subrecipient agreement with Cartana Corridor Economic Development District in an amount $460,000 for planning and design of a new community center in District 6, funded from the American Rescue Plan Act by the Mayor President. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item?
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 119.
Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr. Second by Councilwoman Darazan. Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 120, authorization to appropriate $300,000 from the airport's cash account capital improvements to be placed in taxi lane widening to fund and design construction of taxi lane widening project by the aviation director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Moak. We have a second. Second by Councilwoman Darazan. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 121, authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a lease agreement with Scotland Money Mart LLC for the operations of a fuel C-store facility for a period of 5 years with a 5-year mutual option to renew at a minimum yearly rental rate of $66,830 by the aviation director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilman Moak. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 122, authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a lease agreement with Performance Aviation Holdings LLC to lease approximately 3.545 acres of land to construct a corporate hangar at a rental rate of $37,059.26 per year by the aviation director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilman Hurst. Councilman Dunn Jr.
Just a point of personal privilege as Councilwoman Banks. Oh, I thought you left, Councilwoman Banks. The previous item, the Exxon, I don't know if you noticed it, but they did a great job with enhancing that facility in your district. And Jason Wilson, a former city parish, Baton Rouge Airport employee, worked on that project. And this current item, Performance is investing some $10 million in this facility, another good investment in District 2. You'd be proud of.
We have a motion and a second. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, adjudicated properties. We're going to take items 123 through 143 together. 123, Lot 11, Subdivision Fairlane, Metro Council District 5, Hearst, high bidder William Robinson, $500. Item 124, Lot B2, Subdivision Lizzie Barnes Tract, address Old Rafe Meyer Road, Metro Council District 2, Banks, high bidder Bethel Wells, $1,000. Item 125, Lot 5, Square 5, Subdivision North Scotland, address Southern Avenue, high bidder Brenda Miner, $1,000. Item 126, Lot 2, Square 6, Subdivision Zachary Heights, Metro Council District 1, Knoll, high bidder Whitmore Enterprises LLC, $17,400. Item 127, Lot 48, Subdivision Donwood, Metro Council District 4, Moak, high bidder Clark Family Homes LLC, $8,100. Item 128, Lot northeast corner of Blunt and Avenue E, Subdivision Highland Farms, Metro Council District 2, Banks, high bidder Bobby Ray Thornton Jr., $500. Item 129, Lot U and V, Square 49, Subdivision University Place, Metro Council District 2, Banks, high bidder Travis and Tamara White, $10,000. Item 130, Lot 5, Square 16, Subdivision Prosperity, Metro Council District 10, Coleman, high bidder Zachary Development and Investment LLC, $100. Item 131, Lot 16 plus, subdivision Harding Heights, Metro Council District 2, Banks. High bidder, Christopher Robbins, $1,600. Item 132, Lot 82A, subdivision Harding Heights, Metro Council District 2, Banks. High bidder, Joshua Kyer, $6,300. Item 133, Lot 83A and 84A, subdivision Harding Heights, Metro Council District 2, Banks. High bidder, Christopher Robbins, $15,600. Item 134, Lot 367, subdivision Belfair Homes, Metro Council District 7, Darazan. High bidder, Jags Enterprises of BR LLC, $28,000. Items 135, Lot Eda 51, subdivision Lush, Metro Council District 1, Knoll. High bidder, Andre McCallum, $25,000. Item 136, Lot 167, 169, and 171, subdivision Colonial Hill, Metro Council District 7, Darazan. High bidder, Pharaoh Johnson III, $71,100. Item 137, Lot D-1-A-1, subdivision LR Skytrack, Metro Council District 1, Knoll. High bidder, Clark Family Homes LLC, $27,000. Item 138, Lot 255, subdivision Crystal Place, Metro Council District 4, Moak. High bidder, Isis Wright, $28,000. Item 139, Lot 3, Square F, subdivision Crawford Edition, Metro Council District 7, Darazan. High bidder, Clark Family Homes LLC, $43,500. Item 140, Lot 9, Square 20, subdivision North Baton Rouge, Metro Council District 2, Banks. High bidder, Jose A. Campos, $100. Item 141, Lot 21 and 22, Square 13, subdivision Banks, Metro Council District 10, Coleman. High bidder, Sandra Walker, $100. Item 142, Lot 31A, Square 15, subdivision Banks. High bidder, Pharaoh Johnson III, $100. Item 143, Lot 31A, Square 15, subdivision Banks. Taxes due, $903.46, adjudicated in 2008. Is anyone here wishing to speak on any of these items? Items 123 through 143.
Can we,
Seeing none, we're going to go to council.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Banks.
Are these eligible for, to be deferred?
Yes.
Okay, I kind of want to defer. Let's go. I'm sorry.
And we do need to delete 143. It's a duplicate of 142.
142, 143. So some of them we kind of, I guess, kind of caught up in the what you call it, redistricting. I just want to, like 142, 143. I'd also like to look at defer 142, 43. 31.
143, I think, is going to be deleted because it's just a duplicate.
Okay. 131 and 132, 133. I think that's it. Oh, yeah. That's
131, 132, 133, and 142?
Yes.
Okay.
Defer.
Point of clarity.
Uh-huh.
Can we have a point of clarity? Because she brought up a valid point, and I just want to know if there's currently these are listed by the current districts, not by the districts in January, right, Ashley?
Correct.
Okay. So the name that appears is the council person that represents the area now?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Councilwoman Banks, you want to defer those items to what day?
January.
January 8th?
Yes. Does that make sense? Ms. Pesson. December, I'm trying not to have y'all longer, but December 11th, I'm sorry.
Well, I would.
On the 10th, can we do the 10th?
I would
No.
say do it for the second meeting in January if you're going to have the incoming council member be able to get versed in it.
Yeah,
That would be my
okay.
recommendation.
Hopefully that's Eugene Collins, okay?
What is that, January?
22nd.
Okay. So what I'll need is a motion to approve items 123 through 142, with deferring items 131, 133, 131, 132, 133, and 142 until the January 22nd meeting. It's the second meeting in January.
Oh,
Was it?
29th, sorry,
Oh,
January 29th.
January
That's my
29th
bad.
meeting, sorry.
That's my bad.
Thank you.
We do.
On the 29th.
It's on the 29th.
We moved it
Yes.
because most people could be out of town on the 22nd.
So we had a motion to that effect by Ms. Banks. Is there a second?
Second by Councilwoman Rocca. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we're going to go to appointments. Complete Streets Citizens Advisory Committee, concurring in the Mayor President's recommendation to reappoint Rex Cavanis. This appointment is a 4-year term. 8 votes are required. Current ballot, Rex Cavanis. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Yes, sir.
I'm Rex Cavanis, just putting a name to a face. Appreciate your support to continue on this committee.
Thank you, sir. Go to council, motion by Councilwoman Rocca, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Cavanis. Item 145, Complete Streets Citizen Advisory Committee, one appointment to concur in the nomination of the Mayor President, replace Callum Mathily, who has resigned. This unexpired term ends January 13th, 2026. Current ballot, Jake Polanski, Brack, received a letter from Brack requesting appointment. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Rocca, second by Councilman Hurst. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 146, Employees Retirement System Board of Trustees, consideration of reappointing or replacing Jay Daniels. This appointment is a 4-year term. Current ballot, Jay Daniels requesting reappointment. Justin Meyer submitted application with Whitney Hoffman Sayal submitted application. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council.
Motion to appoint Jay Daniels.
Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Coleman to reappoint Jay Daniels. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 147, Employees Retirement System Board of Trustees, consideration of replacing Mark LeBlanc. He is term limited. Current ballot, Justin Meyer submitted application with Whitney Hoffman Sayal submitted application. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council.
This our Justin?
Yes.
Right there.
Motion to defer.
Do we have a second for that?
He approves my budget, so I'm gonna go ahead and say motion to approve.
Well, for failure for a second for Cleves, we have a motion to approve Justin, second by Councilman Moak. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Justin. Item 148, Historic Preservation Commission, consideration of reappointing or replacing Rex Cavanis. Appointments for a 4-year term. Mr. Cavanis is requesting reappointment. Richard Houser submitted application. Kennedy Packard submitted application. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item?
Me again, same request. I appreciate your support for this position as well.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll go to council.
I'd like,
Motion by Councilwoman Rocca, second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposed? Motion carries for Mr. Cavanis. Congratulations. Item 149, consideration of replacing Councilwoman Shauna Banks to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Must be a council member. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll open the floor to nominations from the council. Councilman Moak.
Motion is to appoint Councilwoman Carolyn Coleman.
We have a motion, second by Councilwoman Rocca. Any opposed to Councilwoman Coleman? Motion carries. Congratulations, Councilwoman Coleman. Item 150, Planning and Zoning Commission, consideration of reappointing or replacing Jamie Ellender. Appointments for a 4-year term. Current ballot is Natasha Cameron submitted an application. Jamie Ellender is requesting reappointment. Matthew Lanassa submitted an application, and Murray McCullough submitted an application. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Jamie Allender.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Jamie Ellender. All right, we're going to take item 151 through 158 together. Acceptance of low bids. Item 151, electrical repair and maintenance, heavy and light industrial electrician, Buffalo Electric, $478,660. Item 152, roof repair, industrial roofing and construction LLC, $148,250. Item 153, registrar of voters, tenant build out, Capital Construction LLC, $1,680,000. Item 154, BRPD First District Precinct Interior Renovations, Sage Construction LLC, $1,077,137.60. Item 155, Baton Rouge Police Department Training Facility. Hang on, that one cut off for me. Okay. Item 156, Juvenile Detention Center upgrades, Arco Construction, Arco Constructors LLC, $2,267,000. Item 157, Baton Rouge Police Department Training Facility, Prodigy Group LLC, $70,000. Item 158, River Center Exhibition Hall, Galleria and Ballroom, Sandy Day Dry Fog Treatment, Parish Restoration, $125,446.20. We have a motion to delete item 155 and approve items 154 through 158 with the exception of 155. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item or these items? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilwoman Banks.
Is Steve here? No? Registrar vote. Building Joe, if you don't mind, please. Is this the 8th floor or whatever floor? Is this building or one of the off-sites? Registrar voting 153.
Yeah, that's over at the PSC, the Public Safety Complex, the Old Women's Hospital.
Okay. Because they've outgrown up here. Are they moving or?
Yes, they're going to relocate this office over there.
Good idea. Okay, that's one question. And then the other, I did think 155 and 157 were duplicates. And juvenile upgrades. So, there's a lot of meetings to rebuild. So are we spending $2 million on a building that eventually, or you really don't have a choice, or?
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So the items that we're upgrading, that's the camera system, the doors, the controls. These are 30-year-old equipment that they have in.
Yeah.
And then also to upgrade a lot of this equipment, they have to. There's a lot of demolition involved. The walls are hollow walls, and those have to be concrete secure walls. So we have to fill those center blocks in. So it's just a lot of extensive work to get all that done. So that's why the number's so high.
Sure. All right, thank you very much. Motion?
Councilman Dunn Jr.
Joe, before you go, can you just give the council a brief explanation, a description of the work that's been going on and the availability of other space and potential private business coming into over there? Can you talk about that real quick, please?
At the Public Safety Complex?
Yes, sir.
So at the Public Safety Complex, right now, currently, you have clerical courts there. We're looking at moving the health unit that's located on Florida Boulevard. They'll be relocating over there. The CATS administration, they'll be relocating. And also, Employee VR and the Veterans Affairs Office will be relocating. So that will currently turn into a hub for the community to go in and use a lot of services that a lot of people will be using. It's on a bus route. All the agencies are aware that, and they're all happy to be working cohesively with each other at that complex. We do have some more available space that we're not renovating at the moment, but they will have opportunities for other entities to come in, agencies to utilize that space, which we will enter into agreement and rent that space out if they choose to come over.
And I just wanted everybody to kind of know what was going on, because when we met, it was good to hear all this was taking place. Some of the facilities that some of these agencies and quasi-government agencies operate are old and outdated, so these renovations are going to be good. They'll all be centrally located now on the bus line. Councilman Moak is asking about how much space that the BRPD is occupying over there. I remember when the previous administration acquired this facility, it was a much better spend than rebuilding a headquarters. And I don't know, is it 50%, 40% capacity? So there's plenty of room left for other build out.
Yeah, for H2, the middle building, they were using roughly 10% over the past 13 years. So right now, we're looking at using almost about 90% of it.
Thank you.
Councilman Hurst.
All right, so I want to talk about the juvenile piece of it, just kind of going back into the escapes that happened, and when we looked at the videos and what potential we needed to do to mitigate that from happening. So, I mean, these were not correction facility style doors. These were older, heavier wooden doors. They still provided great commercial capacity, but because what he talked about, the cinder blocks and the framing was so old that if he were to directly put all those upgrades in, it would have crumbled the walls. Am I saying that correctly, Joe?
Yeah, correct. The new doors are roughly 300 pounds, and if you were to put those doors on the existing walls, you basically could hit it and bring the whole wall down.
And the camera system was so poor that it could not, and you know, cameras upgrade every year. If you look at one iPhone to the next, the quality grows tremendously. So with an upgraded camera system, it would have made a huge difference to mitigate not just the first one, but the second one from happening. And also the switchboard, which I believe part of that has already been repaired, right? But there was so much malfunctioning going on in there outside of the ability for them to manage it, because it was all mechanical failures, that this is to mitigate and to make sure public safety is there in that area. Is that correct, Joe?
That's correct. A lot of the parts that's used and also the control board itself is obsolete. We can't even source parts anymore.
Okay, thank you. Motion approved.
Councilman Moak.
Yeah, I want to go back to the consolidation of the facilities. Just looking at the facilities, so the Baton Rouge Police Department has that building on the corner at the angle building. They have that whole building?
Yes, the old physician's hall.
Okay, yeah. So then you have the parking garage right behind it, and then you've got coming down Airline Highway closer to Goodwood, you have a square facility right there. That's the part we're talking about everybody moving into?
Yes, the middle building, yes.
And how much is it occupied now?
It's roughly 10%, because you have clerical courts, and then the police department, they utilize the space for the training department. But the training will be relocating to the 6th floor of the police tower.
6th floor of the police tower. Okay, so how tall is that floor where the clerk of court's office is? That's only a 2 or 3 story building.
2 stories.
2 stories.
2 stories.
Okay, so all of these are going to occupy those facilities. The rest of the facilities, where the actual hospital was and the 3 round towers that branch out, those are non-usable, will never be usable?
Yeah, that's, we have to get another assessment completed on that building. The way it's structured right now is no feasible use, so we would need to look at that and take an assessment on how we would demo that building.
It would definitely take some planning due to the style of the structure or whatever else, but I guess what I'm asking is it even usable under current conditions?
right now, no, we would need to go in and do a lot of renovations to utilize that space.
Okay. All right, so the voter office is moving out of here?
Yes, they're leaving.
What do they occupy here?
They occupy the part of the fourth floor.
Part of the floor, so you say 50%, 30%, 20?
I'm not certain how much they occupy on this floor, but they'll be relocated. They're going to use that. They'll leave a small satellite office here in that space, but they won't be occupying as much. Steve would have to answer that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilwoman Banks, second by Councilman Hurst to approve items 151 through 158 with the deletion of item 155. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We're going to go to administrative matters. Administrative, I said it again. Emergency items. Number 161, authorizing Mayor President on behalf of the Leo S. Butler Community Center to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement with First Health and Wellness Family Clinic LLC to provide healthcare services at a reduced cost to the residents of the area. The provider will pay $850 to the Leo S. Butler Community Center for the use of 886 square feet of community center space and one parking space by Councilwoman Carolyn R. Coleman. In accordance with Ordinance 16442, this item must be declared an emergency by 2/3 vote of the Metropolitan Council. Do we have a motion to declare it an emergency? Councilwoman Coleman, yes. Motion second by Councilwoman Darazan. Any opposed? All right, item's been introduced. Now we're going to have a public hearing on the item. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item?
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 161.
All right, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Amorosa, second by Councilwoman Coleman. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 162, authorizing Mayor President to enter into a professional services agreement with Granicus for a subscription software program to stream, record, archive, and index city parish meetings, including Metropolitan Council meetings, planning and zoning, school board, library meetings, fire and police civil service board, and videos of the shows filmed in the community for an amount not to exceed $61,104.63 by the Public Information Officer. If you're watching this now, this is for you. In accordance with Ordinance 16442, this item must be declared an emergency by the 2/3 vote of the Metropolitan Council. We have a motion to declare the item an emergency. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Rocca. Anyone opposed to voting this item as an emergency? Seeing none, items introduced. We have a public hearing on the item. Anyone wishing to speak on this item?
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 162.
Of course. We'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Coleman, second by Councilman Moak. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry? Oh. All right, we have a request to reconsider item 90.
Yes, I'd like to give him 60 days, please.
Do we have a motion to reconsider by Councilwoman Coleman, second by Councilman Dunn Jr.? Any opposed to reconsider? Motion carries.
Yes.
Anyone here wishing to speak on item 90? Jonathan Elmore Davis, 3793 Topeka Street. Councilwoman Tim Coleman.
Yes.
We'll go to council. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I'd like to give him 60 days, please.
Motion to defer for 60 days by Councilwoman Coleman, second by the chair. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 159, receive a report from the Baton Rouge Food Bank and Distribution Sites and Programs in the Scotlandville community by Councilwoman Shauna Banks.
All right.
Ready for me?
Yeah, we're going to receive the report and then we'll have a public hearing.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am Jordan Mancuso, Vice President of Impact at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Thank you for the privilege to be here today to represent the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Our state is #1 in child and senior hunger. And as we see inflation, as the economy that we are in these days, we continue to see the number of neighbors in need rise and rise. At the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, we do serve 11 parishes, but East Baton Rouge being one of our largest, with 69 of our 133 agencies being housed in the East Baton Rouge Parish. 16% of the parish is food insecure. We serve around 25,000 neighbors in need every single month. Specifically, though, today I am here to talk about the Scotlandville area and the 70807 neighborhood and what we're doing there. 29% of that neighborhood in that zip code is food insecure. Through partnerships with 5 different partner agencies, we're able to serve about 13,000 neighbors this year so far, one of the largest being the Joel J. Newman Center, serving over half of those neighbors. We also partner with 2 schools in that zip code for our backpack or weekend meal program, and then we also partner with 1 clinic to serve our Food is Medicine program, which is when we partner with clinics and hospitals to serve neighbors in need that are food insecure and are going to their doctor's appointments and letting their doctor know that they're experiencing that social determinant of health. With the ever-growing food insecurity need, we continue to need community partners. We continue to need the growth. We continue to need the help. And as we look into 2025, we are planning to do community needs assessments. We're planning to look and see what is really needed in our communities, what's really needed in these zip codes and in these areas, especially these food deserts like the Scotlandville community. And we appreciate your time and your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judy.
Okay, we're gonna have a public hearing on the item. Anyone here wishing to speak? Now that we've heard the report? Seeing none, we're gonna go to council. Councilman Hurst.
Hey, I just want to tell the food bank, thank you. I told y'all earlier, but I want to say it publicly, for all that you do with the homeless feeding program, with the boxes we give away, just being a partner and helping close that gap on food insecurities and the people that are the areas that need them. So we look forward to continue doing business with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Banks.
Yes, I'd like to, Mr. Mike Manning, who's the CEO of the Baton Rouge Food Bank, if you would also come up. And just also, one of the reasons why this was important to me is because, again, just seeing the progress and the growth in our community, there is a such thing as the working poor. And a lot of persons, when they think about food pantries and food, they think those are persons who may be on limited income, but I think any of us that work a job is limited because we're not going to get any more than that monthly income. And so more and more we are seeing persons in the Scotlandville community, and I'm sure in you all's community, where we actually see people who we never saw before. It is not only the seniors anymore. It is not only families that have a lot of children and they may be a single. I mean, entire families are now hurting. When I started the council, we had 1 room, and I think Baton is gone now. We grew it to 2 suites and a hallway, and the food bank. So I want to thank you all that you all have worked with me, and just kind of tell them, I mean, this is a holiday, and yesterday and today I got calls about 4 families that need food, and a lot of times, again, because they are not accustomed to being in need, they don't know about food pantries. They don't know where to go. And so we really have to think about how to, again, work with the working poor. And if you'd like to talk more about this.
We work with the working poor. We have both federal agency-supported programs and agencies, and then those that just get regular food donations so they can address the people who may have been just above that line of being able to qualify for federal assistance. So, we do a lot of outreach. We do a lot of homeless outreach, which doesn't show any, people don't understand that food insecurity is everywhere.
Yeah.
It may be in your neighborhood and you don't know it because it may be a senior who's having to struggle with his fixed income retirement. I challenged people in some churches in other certain parts of town, said, talk about it at your Bible study. And sure enough, there was when the person talked about it at the Bible study, somebody came back to him and said, how can I get help? And that's what we're here for. So they can call 211 very easily. They can download our phone app. They can go online. They can call the food bank. Any way we can connect people to get them food, that's what we do. That's all we do. So appreciate the opportunity.
Councilman Hurst.
Hey, I want to say something publicly, and I don't have to say names to talk about the impact, but we have city parish workers that come get these boxes. We have city parish workers that come get dog food from the community center. So, and that's the difference between a wage and a livable wage. So when we talk about food insecurities, it's the people that we see every day. Just because they dress up nice and they show up at City Hall, you never know what's happening when they get in their car or on the city bus, because they may not have transportation. But our own workers here come and get these boxes from our community centers. So y'all keep that in mind when it comes to the food bank and other people like them. Thank you.
Just one thing, since we're here, I want you all to know that we also have free baby formula food. So for the listening audience that may need baby food, please come to the George A. Newman Community Center. That is something that is also offered by the Baton Rouge Food Bank. So that's another area we want people to know they can get baby food.
All right, anybody else? Thank y'all so much. Item 160, a report from Rosebud Training Academy regarding programs offered in the greater Scotlandville community by Councilwoman Shauna Banks. There's a request to defer this item to the December 11th meeting along with half of our agenda tonight. So, do we have anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilwoman Banks, motion to defer. Second by Councilman Hurst. Any opposed? Councilman Moak opposes. Motion carries. Councilwoman Amorosa. All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Meeting's adjourned. Any announcements? Yes, for the December 11th meeting, you please feel free to wear Christmas attire. Some can get a little crazier than others, we know.
Is Santa Claus coming?
Santa Claus may be coming. We don't know. It depends. Have you been naughty or nice? We don't know. So, thank y'all all for your continued service. Remember to serve your communities, serve your families, but first and foremost, serve God. Thank you. God bless.
Where were you at? I tried to object to moving the discussion item at the last meeting.